That is so cool. Check it out, guys. These pectoral scutes right here will come right to the very midline of the plastron. Dude, I gotta tell you, man, this is something that I want to do myself. This is awesome. Look at that beautiful cherry head.
When people sleep on Hermans, these things are awesome.
Awesome tortoise. Herman's tortoises are cool. They don't get large. They're a perfect pet tortoise. Look at this, guys. Check it out. This is your little garden. Yeah. Get out of here. So you're growing all this stuff here. And guys, the things that are impressive to me are the fact that these animals are just super active. Man, just a gorgeous tortoise. Wow, that's pretty too. That's different. That's really a different look. I love coming over and seeing enclosures. Just the plantings alone is what really does it. I mean, look at that again. Very cool. This is Sean Borman, the Tort King on Instagram, and we're gonna have a nice little tour of his facility here, and also take a look at one of the little baby lizards he got from me, which is pretty neat. So that's what we're gonna do in today's episode. Cool, man. So this is awesome. Sean and I met at the National Breeders reptile. I don't even know how to say it. The Daytona Reptile Show. Yeah, and it was really cool because he had a beautiful setup there for all of his animals that he produced, and he invited me a while back. You came, saw me just about a month ago, and so now I get a chance to share with you my first hangout here at the Tortoise King's house, and I see some really beautiful species right here, bud.
Yep. These are a couple of our Burmese black mountains.
Oh, that is awesome, man.
Cletus and Wheezy.
Cletus and Wheezy. Are we allowed to walk in the enclosure?
Absolutely.
That is so cool. Check it out, guys. And now this is a species I used to have, and it's the Manoria ferri. How long have you had these guys?
So I've had Cletus for about 4 years, and I've had Wheezy for about 3.
Okay, very
She's
cool.
produced before in the past.
Oh, wow.
Last year was a weird year for a lot of the tortoise breeders that I've talked to because there was a lot of infertility in the eggs and stuff like that. So she laid like 19 eggs last year, but they weren't fertile. So but she has produced in the past. So we're hoping for this year. She usually will lay in April.
Oh, wow. Very cool. And these guys will actually protect their nest.
Yep.
They make a mound. He's got a lot of beautiful leaves here, and she'll back sweep all that material into a large mound. She'll deposit her eggs. And then what's funny is she kind of just watches over the eggs.
Yeah.
She stays around, huh?
Yep. Yeah, she probably for about 4 or 5 days after she laid. I mean, of course, I collected them and I put them in the incubator, but she was pretty protective of that mound. Wouldn't let Cletus over there near it.
That's so funny. Let's go see Cletus. He's pretty awesome. These are a cool tortoise, especially for Florida, because you know these guys here love high humidity. And they also can take cooler temperatures. Now, I wouldn't say freezing, but they're definitely a hardier species when it comes to some of these little drops we have, and he's been eating some of that Missouri you see.
Yeah, I had a banana.
That's so awesome. Oh, and a banana? Very cool. And so there's actually 2 species of Manoria. I guess I would say subspecies. There's 2 subspecies, and that is the Manoria emys ferri, which you're looking at, and then Manoria emys, the brown mountain tortoise. And you can tell the difference. You mind if I lift this guy up? Cletus, I'm going to lift you up.
I have a brown.
Do you really?
Yeah,
awesome. We'll have to see that guy later. These pectoral scutes right here will come right to the very midline of the plastron, whereas on the emys, they stop here and there's a line that connects them. So if you want to know if it's a black mountain tortoise, they have to come together. Those pectoral scutes have to come together at the midline, because believe it or not, some of the browns can be black. So it can get confusing. So that's really cool. I like what you do here. Just a big paver, and you feed them on that.
Trimmed. I'll scatter some around, let them forage a little bit.
Yep.
I like to put the tortoise chow up here, so because it doesn't get all rotted in the
in the leaves and stuff. And then that's really cool.
A troop of squirrels that kind of do cleanup crew at night. So
that makes sense. Yeah, definitely. Really cool enclosure, man. I love that you got the water thing here.
And actually it comes on every day around 11, so it's got like a rain feature.
Awesome.
I think they really thrive in kind of like a damp, almost like a rainforesty environment, and then that refills once a day. So
that's pretty cool. And overflows, and then if you have to, you just brush it out, right?
I brush it out once, twice a week.
check this out, Matt. Come on over here and look at the back end of this tortoise. They also call these the six-legged tortoise because if you look at those spurs. I mean, it's funny we call the sulcata tortoise the spur-thigh tortoise, but man, look at those spurs there. Wow. That guy's got some really big ones. So they'll sometimes call that the six-legged tortoise. Not quite as big as a leg, but I guess enough to give them that name, you know? Very cool stuff. Love the hides. That's really neat.
Yep, and I don't really turn the heat on in here unless it gets super cold.
Gotcha.
Because they'll dig up underneath this, you know, the hay and stuff like that. To try. In fact, even if I have the heat on here, like when it got super cold, we were down at like 37.
Yeah, it was real cold.
I had the heat on in there, but both of them were just underneath all the hay. So.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, but I like the cane heat mats there.
Yes, awesome stuff, man. Yeah, that's really cool. And he mounts them to the top, similar to what I do.
Yep, all my hides have the cane mounted in the top. And
yeah, that works.
Yep.
And again, when we talk about heating, it's just about taking the edge off. You know, you don't want to overheat the tortoises in those shelters.
Right.
That's really cool. I love it. This is like a ficus.
Yeah.
So all those ficus leaves, which is actually native to Southeast Asia, where these animals are from. So that's really cool that they get some native vegetation. And do they kind of, will they tend to back sweep towards a structure, towards the fence?
She likes to back sweep over here.
Interesting.
She'll start over here for a little bit, but then she'll usually always ends up over in that corner.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. Yeah.
And I like the ficus. And I think you mentioned it before in one of your videos. The leaves in the water, like it kind of makes like a tannin.
I like a tea.
Yeah, and some people are like, oh, you got to keep it clean. You got to keep it clean, but I mean, I don't think the leaves or the pine needles or any of that stuff.
No, in fact, pine needles, I just found this out, pine needles are a good source of vitamin C if you're ever stuck in the woods away from civilization. So they make, you would put them in water and you could get some vitamin C. Huh. That's what I read. Don't try it. Eat an orange.
Right.
That's probably the best way. Don't get stuck in the woods, friend. Cool, where are we headed to next?
All right, we'll go over to just my hatchling pens. I get a lot of questions from people like, how do you keep hatchlings outdoors and stuff? And here, you know, fortunately we live in Southeast Florida where we rarely get, I mean, this last cold front was just incredible. Like they call it like a generational cold front. But I like doing everything outside if I can. I've got the heat mats in here. I have regulars in here, but I've got another pen over there that when I'm home during the day, I like to, for enrichment, have them out. But these are all my cherry heads.
Dude, I gotta tell you, man, this is kind of something that I want to do myself. This is awesome.
Yeah.
The way you're keeping these hatchlings outdoors, he can shut these and totally secure them. I love how you did the heat mats up here.
Yeah.
So that when you close the door, have you taken temperatures?
I have, and I've had temperatures in here of 45 and 75.
Get out of here. Yep. That is amazing. And guys, check this out, okay? So many of you, and I know Fluker doesn't want me to say this all the time, but a hide could be something as simple as this. Because what are they hiding under in nature? Something like this. So this is basically the boot of, I think, a big palm tree.
Queen palm.
It's a queen palm. Look at that. So it's the boot. It's where it attaches to the stalk, and you just flip it upside down, and you got yourself a really cool habitat. Very inexpensive clay terracotta pot here. You can get at Home Depot. Yep. And then, of course, he likes to feed on those rocks because it wears them down. But look at these. Look at that beautiful cherry head.
That one's probably going to be one of my holdbacks.
Holy smokes, that's going to be a marbly one.
Yeah, so all these will eventually marble, but some of them really marble really, and that's when it comes to cherry heads, I'm really particular about what I have, and I breed for marbling and redneck.
Okay.
I'm trying to coin the phrase redneck line, but
okay, there you go. Yeah. Well, we're in the good part of the world for rednecks, man.
There's another good marbled one.
These are all cherry heads.
Yep.
These are beautiful.
Yep.
Wow, guys.
These are cherries.
How can people find you if they wanted to order a baby from you?
The one thing that I don't do is ship.
Okay.
So, and I only produce, 50 to 100 babies.
So you got to go to a reptile show.
Either a reptile show or get in contact with me. I don't mind. I like to meet the people who get stuff from me.
Okay. Very cool.
But yeah.
There you go. So
on
Tort
Instagram,
King.
Instagram is the Tort King. Facebook, it's Treasure Coast Tortoise King.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Very cool.
It's funny because every now and I've got a couple that they get a little wonky.
Yep.
And it's not like a missed scoot. It's just kind of like a wonky. There's another one in here.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I saw it.
Yeah, this one here. Yeah. But I mean, it's super healthy. Eats like a champ.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know, reptiles are funny. You know, they have quite a few offspring as a survival tactic. You know, they're going to have a lot of babies, a lot of eggs. And you can't always have perfect, man.
No.
But I mean, looking at the activity levels of these animals and just how they're foraging, looking for food, that's what you want to see, friends. When you're looking for baby turtles or tortoises to buy or any reptile, you got to look for that activity. Here we are, it's about 11 o'clock in the morning as we're filming this. These animals are out and about doing their thing. Again, really cool. How did you build these? Just a straight tray? I see some metal.
Well, this one, I'll show you a different one. This one, this guy had this big metal tray.
Okay.
And I saw it at a garage sale, so I'm like, I gotta buy that. So I just built this around it.
Okay.
So this metal tray actually sits in here.
Okay. And there's drainage?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I drilled a bunch of holes in it. But the one that's easiest to build is this one. This is an 8-foot long one. I don't have the two. I don't have the two things in here yet, just because I don't have tortoises. But these, and I know you use these too. These are the cement mixing tubs.
Super easy.
Here's a group of Hermanns.
That
people sleep on Hermanns. These things are awesome.
Awesome tortoise.
And they'll eat. These things eat like champs.
Look at him eating that ficus leaf.
Yeah.
Look at that, guys. A ficus leaf fell in here, and he's just like, cool, I'll eat it.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
And that's kind of my philosophy. If they'll eat it, it's probably not bad for them.
Right, I understand. Yeah, you know, people ask me what type of plant should I plant, and you know, should I worry about certain, you know, poisonous plants? And I always say if it's poisonous to a person, it's probably poisonous to a tortoise. So I just, you know, oleander, things like that, I just don't plant near the tortoises or keep on my property. But this is great. And look at that.
That's
how small these guys
are. This pretty much everything here.
Yeah, that is incredible.
That's tiny.
You know, Hermann's tortoises are, hey, we got a guy who needs help, Dad. There you go. Yeah, Hermann's tortoises are cool. They don't get large. They're a perfect pet tortoise. Yeah. And they do well in Florida. They're pretty much, they're a Mediterranean species, but they're adaptable, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, a friend of mine, she produces these and just, literally these are basically all ground hatch type things. So
that's cool.
So I said, you know what, there's just such a, I saw a couple of them before. My buddy Rick, he's got a couple rescues. He's got most of his redfoots and stuff are rescues, but he's got some cool stuff too. But he's got some, and they're really cool, and they can take low temps. They can,
they can hibernate if they need to.
Yep, absolutely. So people do really well with them here, and I've never kept them before, but
awesome.
Figured I'd check them out. So again, this one here is, I've got eggs in the incubator, so as they hatch, I have some hatching out next week. I let them stay in the incubator till their umbilical thing is gone, and then they come straight out here.
Gotcha. Yeah, again, you know, this is why it's fun for me and why I love pulling you friends along. I like to get ideas, and that's how I get them. It's an honor if you steal from someone in this business. You know, it's steal away. But this is really simple, easy to clean. You pull it right out, and then I love, you know, you just shut this. Is it okay if I just show him? You can just shut this and look at this, guys. Check it out. So he's got his little passive heat barrier here.
It's basically a yoga mat.
It's a yoga mat. Look at that. And then you shut it, and then the tortoises have this nice heated cane mat. That's really ingenious, mate.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's super good. That's so cool.
And this is an 8-foot long one, so it'll hold 4 of these bins.
Wow.
And, you know, most of the time they're not full, but at the beginning of
the hatching season.
And I try to group them up, you know, according to size. And here you don't want, you know, some of the bigger ones will bully the other ones. But
just one more time, look at this little dude. He is so cute, that little guy. I'm loving it, man. That is amazing.
These cement mixing tubs are perfect for this type. You just got to drill a bunch of holes in the bottom. And the cool thing is, you know, they like to thermoregulate. So this is always going to be dry over here because it's covered. And then this, you know, rain and, you know, stuff like that, this always stays. If you dig under here, it's always nice and moist. And then under here, it's not so much.
All right, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's really cool. So they got the different microclimates that they need for that healthy respiration and healthy shells.
Yeah.
Also, great job. I love it.
Thank you.
Definitely gonna look into this. What I was considering doing is I've been talking with Ed from Aquascape, and instead of I want to build the ultimate hatchling turtle habitat,
Okay.
so I could put all my baby tortoises and turtles in one area.
Right.
We're going to build a very small aquascape ecosystem with a little stream that the tortoises can drink from, and then just a very shallow pond that if the tortoises go in, they can get out easily. But I wanted to make something like that. Now we're walking in. This is your little garden where you're growing. Is that collards?
Those are collards.
Get out of here. So you're growing all this stuff here.
Absolutely.
You got a green thumb also, bud. That's awesome.
These a puncha cactus are super easy to grow.
Yeah.
And everybody should be growing. If you keep tortoises or iguanids or even the Euromastics and stuff like that, they love it. And in fact, I've got some star tortoises that they will eat it non-stop.
That's great. So you're always just propagating these, and then when they get large enough, you just plant them in the ground.
Yep.
And you
the whole perimeter of my property is pretty much cactus.
That's so cool, man.
Planted with cactus.
I love it. But my eyes keep getting drawn to these extremely active and healthy baby tortoises here.
So normally these are in the hatchling bins. But for enrichment, I like to get them out here. They love eating weeds and grass and all that other stuff, and I'll throw in some cactus pads, but there's like 15 or so in here.
That is really amazing.
And these are actually just my normals, but my normals are a little better.
They look beautiful.
Because I've got a huge Bolivian cherry head that's the male to all these.
This is a really nice looking light. I mean, this just drew my eye. This is a regular redfoot.
Yep, but these tend to keep their heads more red. Some of them will yellow up, but for the most part, with that big Bolivian male that I have, they kind of retain the red head, but I just sell them as regulars.
That's so cool. Look at that, the difference in shell coloration. Much lighter centers to the scutes. That's really cool. But, you know, again, guys, the things that are impressive to me are the fact that these animals are just super active, moving about. I love the fact that they're on grass. I mean, that's so cool.
Yeah.
If you're a tortoise nerd, right, guys? See, watch your step now.
Yep.
I don't want Matt to
now I gotta look.
Especially in the nice star pen over there.
Oh boy, yeah. So this is just really cool to see these animals all moving about. They've got plenty of places to hang out and hide and do their thing. That's really cool.
Seconds is my little nursery for
hibiscus.
Those are
what is this?
Those are what I brought you. Those are the
oh, mulberry.
Mulberry.
Yeah, I planted mine.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
They do really well. These are the dwarf everbearing variety, and they do really good.
How tall do they get?
They'll get like 8 to 10 feet. The nice thing about them though is like the Pakistanis will go through a dormant phase. Like right now I have a Pakistani over there and it just looks like it's dying. It's not, but these don't really go through a dormant stage.
Okay, so we're talking about the mulberry plant, and this is a very nutritious leaf for all of your vegetarian reptiles. Lots of nutrition in that leaf, so good to have a mulberry plant, and he brought me 2 as a gift, and I already planted them. Can't wait to see them get bigger so I can just make clippings, throw them right in the enclosure and get these guys happy. Look, this little dude's walking on your foot there, man. That's awesome. And now I can't believe this. Are these Indian stars or Burmese?
These are Indian Sri Lankan stars.
Get out of here.
I got some more. Let me see if I can snatch them out of here real quick.
That is gorgeous, man.
Wow.
I think I have a 2-6 group in here. That's the male, and that's a male.
Yeah, that's amazing. The males are so much smaller than the females. Have you had any issues with these guys?
I got these from a buddy of mine who's had them for a few years. He's out in Palm City.
Okay.
And he's produced some beautiful babies with them, and I talked him out of the group. So
wow.
But they've been outdoors in Florida for 4 or 5 years.
Okay. Man, yeah, I had bad luck with my Indian stars in outdoors, so I wound up, you know, getting out of the star tortoise keeping, but they are beautiful tortoises.
Yeah, knock on wood, they haven't had any health or respiratory issues so far. I do tend to put this heater on when it gets like below 70.
Okay.
Probably I might start doing it when it gets a little, maybe 74, 75. Okay. Because I know they don't really do well in cold and wet. So
gotcha, definitely not. Yeah.
All my water features are hooked up to sprinklers. So every morning the sprinklers go off, so everything gets watered. But with them, I try to keep the sprinklers more out of here. I don't want them as damp and as wet, especially in the cooler weather. When it's hot out and stuff like that, it should be fine, because they are in some humid areas.
In India and Sri Lanka, definitely. They're beautiful tortoises, just a beautiful tortoise. Now these guys are a tortoise that you'll see being poached out of the wild and brought into the pet trade. Just a gorgeous tortoise, but the problem is a nice weight.
Yeah.
Nice weight. I'm feeling this guy. A tortoise should feel heavier than it looks.
Yep.
And real great weight on that guy.
They eat nonstop.
Yeah,
and
incredible.
They eat everything.
Wow.
Everything.
That's awesome.
They will even eat the elephant ears.
Really? Yeah,
some
I have
people,
some tortoises do that as well.
And my redfoots will eat them too. But the Minoria and they really like them.
That's a cool tortoise, man. I love it.
All right, so
look at this.
We got one down over here.
Oh, we got tortoise. Tortoise upside down. Get him.
Oh.
He was trying to go in, and the other one was coming out.
there's a traffic jam there.
Wow. So these are cherry heads?
So this is my cherry head pen, and this one is really cool. This one here is a female, one of the original imports.
Yeah, I was going to say this animal shell is old.
And that male over there, you can tell just because their shells are just.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I have a theory that, everybody's like, oh, you can tell it's, been well taken care of if the shell is super smooth, which is true. But I think ones that come from the wild, I think just the rubbing and the digging and just, they love to hide and get out of the sun and stuff like that. So. But she puts out some beautiful, look at her neck color and stuff
She's
like that.
amazing. Now, yeah, that's exactly right, Sean. I feel the same way. How smooth and almost, in a way, polished from just erosion, that shell. It's just incredible. So, and age, but look at the coloration.
So this is marbles.
Oh my God.
This is a true Brazilian cherry head, but had got no red out of it.
Okay.
So it's all yellow, even its neck.
Wow.
If we can see if we can get some neck.
Yeah, look at that. It's almost like a burnt orange.
Yeah, it's just a really, and this tortoise is 5 years old.
Really?
It eats more than everything else.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's pretty too. That's different.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's really a different look on the plastron there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm really excited for when that one gets big enough to. I'm kind of trying to. I'm 99% sure it's a female.
Okay.
But I'd love to see if anybody out there has a cherry head with just yellow. Please contact me because I'd love to find a male for a future breeding project.
Yeah, that would be
see if it'll
interesting.
Prove out.
Wow, that is really awesome. But this, I'm just really amazed at how beautiful this female is. Let's see some of the other ones. This is a great enclosure, man.
Yeah.
I love coming over and seeing enclosures. Just the plantings alone is what really does it for me. Look at, again, everyone's moving
That's
around.
wild. This is very cool.
Yeah, everyone's just cruising around, enjoying life, being tortoises.
Very cool.
That is awesome.
This one's pretty cool. I call him Mongo.
Yeah.
And I actually call him Mongo the Dongo. He's got the largest tail I've ever seen on any.
That's
any,
a well-endowed
cherry head,
tortoise. Holy smokes.
Look at, there's so much movement. That's wild.
Now, people have probably noticed that you actually have a prosthetic leg, and but you're a police officer.
Yep.
So can you tell me just quickly, like we don't have to take too much time, but I think it's kind of inspirational in my opinion.
Yeah.
Obviously you had an accident.
Yep. Happened my senior year in high school.
Okay.
Buddy and I were out hunting. He had never hunted before. He got a new golden retriever pup, and he's like, "Hey, I'd really like to teach you how to hunt dove and quail." I'm like, "Well, we'll go." This is back in the day when you could have like, a shotgun rifle in the back of your truck on a high school campus. So that wasn't a big deal back then. It's a huge deal now. But so we went out, and just probably lack of experience. I kind of blame myself for not kind of, going over some stuff. But he had a shotgun, and we were walking. He was in front of me, and somehow pulled the trigger from about 3 or 4 feet away with some bird shot. Way out west St. Lucie County. So we were able to get in. They tried to do what they could here in Martin County, but it was a little more traumatic from what they could deal with to try to save it because there's not much left. So they flew me up to Shands Hospital in Gainesville. They did like 10 or 11 surgeries. Doctor came in, he said, "We got to make a decision tonight." So he's like, either 2 years of reconstructive surgery, we're going to take muscle grafts, skin grafts, bone grafts, and best case scenario, you're going to walk with a stiff ankle, or we could take it off. So, it's one of those things at 17 years old, you're like,
Heavy.
what's life going to be like without a leg? Am I ever going to get a girlfriend? Things go through your head, you just don't know. Prayed. Me and my mom prayed, and then just peace came over me, and then it was almost nothing audible, but just almost like, you're good. Just take it off. So, made the decision. They went in for surgery the next morning, and I had gotten gangrene, so they would have had to take it off anyway. But I thank God for letting me make that decision, and not just waking up in the morning.
Yeah, he gave you the choice, and you took it, man.
Yep.
That's incredible. And so then, you know, you became, obviously you were 17.
Yeah.
So you've had this long career in law enforcement.
Yeah, I got hired, you know, everybody, well, you know, being a cop's probably not going to be an option for you, but, you know, that's one of those things when people tell you you can't do something.
You got to do it. You got to do it.
We love those people.
And you also rode 100 miles on your bike in Lake Tahoe.
We did. Yeah. I did it.
So, I mean, it's just an incredible story. But there's another story that I think you guys are going to want to hear, because he's a little bit of a nut, okay? So, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about how you wrangled an alligator on the job.
Okay.
In front of some people who were kind of amazed. This is awesome.
So it was, I had just gotten hired, and it was, you know, when you first get hired, you go straight to midnights.
Okay.
And I was working an area where people kind of hang out late at night, and we got a alligator call. And I've always, you know, ever since I was a little kid, alligators, snakes, anything that slithered or crawled, I was into. So I take the call, and I get there, and there's like a huge circle, and it's like 2 in the morning.
Okay.
There's like 50 people in the middle of the road, just surrounding this like 4.5, 5 foot alligator.
Okay.
So quietly, and no one knows me. I'm wearing pants.
Yeah.
Just literally the first night out on my own without a training officer.
Oh man.
It was the first call I had on midnight
Legend.
shift.
Yeah, I'm gonna just fix this real quick so I can hear you. Go ahead.
And so I walked through the crowd, and they're like, what is he gonna do? And as soon as I got close to the alligator, because it's already agitated, they're throwing rocks and stuff at it. And so it just opens its mouth. So I take my foot, stick it in its mouth, it bites down, and I drag it back to my patrol. Grab it, pick it up, put it in my lap, close the door, and I leave.
And everyone's freaking out. Yo, man, that's crazy, right?
I ended up being the community police officer in that neighborhood.
Oh my
so
God.
they all thought I was
That's
just an absolute
amazing.
nut,
Yeah, he didn't let him know he had a prosthetic leg. I mean, the guy's super.
That's amazing.
So he got you got their attention right away. Do not mess with Officer Borman.
It helped. It helped out a lot.
I just had to share. That's such a great story, man.
It was a cool experience.
It's cool.
Especially
and,
like the first call you ever had.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. And I just, look, I wanted to touch on it because you know what? So many of us go through hardships in life, and some bigger than others. And I just think it's important that we tell these stories because you've created an amazing life yourself. You're having the best time, and you get to be with these animals, and you wound up getting a gal too.
I did.
He got a gal, so look out. So this all's well that ends well, man. So this is really amazing. Where are you going to take us next?
So this is the normal pen, but it looks like they broke through. I put a barrier up here so they wouldn't get out, but I'm sure they're all in here.
Oh, let's have a look.
Yeah.
These are the.
Oh wow.
Hey, I like what you've done. You know, you use these tubs and you've made. This is really cool too.
Yeah.
You know, some aquatic turtle breeders would freak out if they saw you destroy a Rubbermaid tub like that.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
No, but they're easy.
And you can tell which one is the Bolivian cherry head in the group.
No, let me see the Bolivian. Well, this one.
Yeah.
Right, but my eyes are always drawn to the lighter ones.
That is Blondie.
Okay.
And I think that's going to be, these were all, for the most part, 20, 25-year-old tortoises that were wild caught. So Blondie and I call the one next to her Fat Amy, they put out some really light babies.
Yeah, they're pretty. They're really cool. Just a really great variety of animals here, man. It's amazing.
That's funny, they've got all this room, but in the heat of the day, usually, I mean, they'll just
congregate.
There's 8 of them in here, and they're all as big as they get. So I've got 2 males in here, both cherries, just because I think like I said, I don't sell the babies from these as cherries. They're just really high colored. They'll keep a lot of that red. So,
well, that's the interesting thing about the Bolivian quote cherry head is they're a redfoot that gets much larger that keeps that red head.
Yep.
So very
the other one's just actually someone just dropped it off here. That other cherry head, and I call him Frank the Tank. And it's always good, I think, to have a little competition in with your females.
Absolutely.
So, and they fought like crazy the first week or so, but now they're best buddies. So
awesome. Gets that testosterone going and makes them more fertile. Very, very cool. Well, I'll tell you. think this is a real treat. I'm really glad I got a chance to come out here and see it. It's awesome. And they want to go back in their house. Let's get them all situated properly here. How awesome is that? And these hold the temperatures, huh?
Yeah, yeah, with those cane heat mats, you saw cane heat mat at the bottom there.
Look at this, guys, how they push right out. That's a really great idea.
Yeah, I just cut the door, put some zip ties on it, just, you know, it's like a door for them, yeah. And it'll, like I said, 45 degrees out, it'll stay 75 to 80 in there.
That's perfect. Man, Sean, thank you so much for giving myself, Matt, and everyone out on the channel. Yeah, my pleasure.
It's a beautiful place.
So guys, again, the Tort King on Instagram. DM him, talk with him, a lot of good information. Let's move away from that loud AC, but just a great time. And I really appreciate, you know, spending the time with us today. But there's gonna be some more. I think we're gonna have some more videos out there, and we made a new friend. So very cool, good stuff. Let me know what you think of the Tort King in the comments below. I'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks,
See ya.
man.